welcome back, my students. This is your favorite teacher, Mr. Jacobson, and I'm excited to be with you. This is it. This is the last webcast of the whole school year. I know you're probably crying because you're going to miss these events where we get together each week and discuss a little bit about history. But this is it, guys. So I encourage everyone to really pay attention. This summary that is due for this webcast will be double the points. So it's important that you do pay attention and that you also do your work because time is running down. So let us begin. So last time we talked, we ended with Constantine, who became an emperor, and he ruled from Constantinople and not from Rome. And after Constantine dies, there's a few things that happen. Eventually, Theodosius comes to power. So both Diocletian and Constantine's reforms, they ultimately fell in saving the Roman Empire. After Constantine's death, eventually Theodosius uh, took the throne. He split the Roman Empire into two empires. You have the Western Roman Empire, capital at Rome. You have the Eastern Roman Empire, capital at Constantinople. This is very significant because this is now officially where the schism happens between the two empires. They are going to be very different. The Roman Empire will fall shortly, and the Eastern Empire, which will be known as the Byzantine Empire, it will continue for nearly 1,000 years. So, at this time, many Germanic groups are living around the Western Empire. You have the Ostrogoths, the Visigoths, the Franks, the Vandals, the Angles, and the Saxons. Now, these groups were drawn to Rome's wealth and warm climate. They're coming from, a lot of them are coming from the north, not all of them, but a lot of them. And, uh, and as they come north, they're starting to see that it's actually warmer and more temperate in weather here, and that's important if you want to have a thriving civilization. So they're drawn to the warm weather in the Roman Empire. They're drawn to the wealth and prestige that the Roman Empire had, especially at Rome. Also, some were fleeing the notorious Huns who were coming from the east. So, by the Huns coming to attack on the eastern part of Europe, it was actually causing Ostrogoths, Visigoths, and some others to flee further west, which caused them to run into the Roman Empire as well. So the Romans began mistreating the Visigoths. Oh, wait a minute, did I? Oh, so the Ostrogoths defeated the Huns, were defeated by the Huns, causing the Visigoths to plead for Rome's protection. So the Ostrogoths got kind of whooped by the Huns. The Visigoths were afraid because they thought they were next. They knock on the Rome's door. They say, "Please help us." And Rome decides to let them settle just inside their borders so they have their protection. And in return, they expect them to be loyal. So the Romans began mistreating the Visigoths. They didn't see them as true Romans. They were Germanic warriors. They were less civilized, and they were subpar human in some of their eyes. So the Romans, one, they start making them buy food at very high prices. Romans also would kidnap and enslave many Visigoths. And Rome and the Visigoths began fighting each other. The Visigoths did not appreciate such treatment. They thought it was unfair, to say the least. And they had a war. And in 378 AD, the Visigoths defeated the Romans at the Battle of Adrianople. Now, Rome was forced to surrender land to the Visigoths inside the Roman Empire. So this is quite, and as you can see in this map, here is the Battle of Adrianople, which is found just outside of near Constantinople, actually, where the other empire begins. So we have this here. Not a lot of good things are happening for Rome at this point. They've lost the battle. They now have to cede land within their empire to the Visigoths, and other tribes are going to start smelling blood in the water. So with the defeat of at Adrianople by the Visigoths, the other Germanic tribes knew that Rome could not defend itself anymore. Many tribes began to advance, conquer land from the Western Roman Empire because the Romans were too weak to stop them. So in 410 AD, the Visigoth leader Alaric captured Rome and looted all of its precious materials, burning records in the process. This was the first time the city of Rome had been captured in 800 years. In 455 AD, the Vandals, who were south of in like northern Africa, they also seized Rome and stripped the buildings of all its valuables and burned the buildings afterwards. From these attacks came the word vandalism, which means the willful destruction of property. So it's kind of cool to see kind of how the origin of some of our English words come about. You've heard of what vandalism is. Vandalism is where you're destroying property. Vandalizing could be drawing on desks at school or making gouges or whatever. So and that word comes from a group of tribesmen called the Vandals that when they conquered Rome, they literally just stripped and vandalized every building they could of its precious materials, and then they just destroyed the and burned the buildings and vandalized. So it was obviously very memorable to Rome and to Romans that they coined the term vandalize when you're destroying property. So Rome falls. So by 450 AD, many Germanic leaders held positions in Rome's government and army. At this point, Germanic leaders now are being part of the Roman government because, well, they can't stop them. They're too strong. So if you can't beat them, join them. So in 476 AD, a Germanic general named Odoacer overthrew the Western Roman Emperor Romulus Augustulus, who was at the tender age of 14. So Romulus Augustulus was the last emperor of the Western Roman Empire, and he was only 14 when he was called to be at the helm of the empire. He had a general by the name of Odoacer, and this guy thought it was a joke having a babe to basically be the ruler, and thought I could take this person. So he did. He never kills him, but he does oust him and ostracizes or sends him away. So this at this point, historians say was the end of the Western Roman Empire because the emperor of Rome was no longer a Roman descendant. So this is it. It's at this point that the Western Roman Empire, according to historians, it is done. It's over. The West has fallen when Odoacer overthrows Romulus Augustulus. So what are some of these legacies we keep hearing about? Although Rome fell and it left behind many things we're still used today. A legacy is something that someone leaves to future generations of people. Okay, so let's take a look here. So a few Roman legacies I want you to keep in mind. There are three categories. One is Roman ideas in government today. Another one is Roman influence of culture. And the last will be Christianity. So we have the Romans who left the 12 tables. It also, many civilizations, especially Western civilizations today, they have this idea that everyone is equal under the law, especially in America. Another thing that America got from the Roman legacy is that innocent until proven guilty. Number three, like Rome, America is a republic. Citizens have a voice in government. And four, belief that a republic works best when citizens do their duty, they participate in government, work to make a better society. So these are just some of the legacies and the ideas of Roman government that we got as Americans. Now, some of the cultural influence today would be well, the Latin alphabet, we use very much a large portion of it. Latin alphabet had 22 letters. Ours has 26. Latin shaped languages of France, Spain, Italy, Portugal, Romania. I mean, pretty much most of the languages found in Western Europe, it has shaped them, meaning that Latin, they all have Latin roots. Many English words came from Latin, i.e., vandal or vandalism. Uh, every known species of plant and animal is in Latin. We use concrete like the Romans. Our buildings have arches, domes, and columns, etc. Lots of legacies. And under Christianity, we have the Christianity began in the Roman Empire. It was Christianity began. The founder is Jesus Christ, and when Jesus was born, Israel or Judea was under Roman control, and all his apostles too were preached and taught under Roman within the Roman Empire. Roman emperors adapted Christianity as it should be adopted, so that's wrong. As the main religion of the empire, giving the religion a chance to grow and spread throughout all of Europe and Asia Minor. So Christianity got a bit of a boost from the Roman Empire because Constantine eventually adopts Christianity as the dominant religion of the empire, and that's going to bring about the spread and dominance of Christianity throughout all of Western and even Eastern Europe. And so that's pretty much it. We are finished. This is it. Rome has fallen, and it is finished. So if you have any questions, go ahead and you can ask me in class. But what I really need from you to do is to write down this summary, make it well thought out, make it good, do your best. Like I said, it is double the points for a summary on this last one, and be prepared to discuss this in class when we meet the first of the week. Until then, I wish you all adieu, and it's been exhilarating to be able to learn history with all of you. And I really mean that. This has been a privilege to be able to hear your discussions and your debates and your thoughts and your feelings on each of these civilizations we discussed. I really appreciate your ability to articulate yourself and wanting to share your opinions. And I promise you that those of you who share your opinions and are not afraid, I know it will take you far in life. And I look forward to seeing you and hearing your thoughts and opinions on this webcast for a final time. And I will see you then. Bye bye.